when we last left off with you all, we were enjoying our time in Warwick Wells here in the Exuma Islands. But we've got some catching up to do since then. We're leaving Warwick Wells this morning, which, if I could have it my way, we would stay here for the entire season. It has been so unbelievably pretty here, but it does cost money to stay in the park, and we desperately need to get rid of our trash, so we're going to be making our way down to Black Point today, and hopefully have a good sail ahead of us. We had heard from other cruisers that there just so happened to be a regatta the weekend we were sailing into Black Point. We ended up having such a blast during our time there. We met so many amazing cruisers and locals during the weekend and enjoyed far too many rum punches, which is probably why there isn't much footage from our time there. The whole weekend was full of parties and events, but one of the highlights from the weekend were the Bohemian sloop races, where cruisers were able to go out and join as crew. If you're unfamiliar what a Bohemian sloop is, they're wooden racing boats that resemble old fishing boats that were used throughout the islands back in the day. The boats use pry boards, which are planks held to the deck and run windward for crew to sit out on as weights to help stabilize the vessel. I was lucky enough to get to go out for one of the races, and man, these were no joke. Anytime we tacked or jibed, we'd have to dive down into the hull of the boat as the boom swung overhead and the boards were swapped over to the other side of the boat. There were so many moving parts and people that you really couldn't afford to be caught off guard. It was so much fun though, and such a cool experience. After our stay on Black Point, we ended up jumping down to Georgetown, which is a huge cruisers hub. We were really excited to make it all the way there, but once we arrived, reality started to hit, and we realized that it was due time for us to head back north so that we could make it back before our visas expired. So after sailing down to Georgetown and then turning right around and coming back up, that's how we ended here at the big major anchorage right outside of Staniel Key. It's definitely one of the more popular anchorages here in the Exumas, and with several days of high winds about to roll through, we were about to have a couple of weeks to explore and see just what it was about this area that made it so popular.
Wow.
Currently in Staniel Key in the Exumas. We're at the big major anchorage, which is a pretty popular anchorage here in the Exumas. It's where like the famous swimming pigs are, and then it's right near the Thunderball Grotto. It's like a famous grotto from one of the 1960s James Bond's movies. So a couple of big tourist destinations where we're at, but we're going into town today because we need to go and provision a little bit. And we just want to check out town. We've been stuck on the boat for the last couple of days. We've been having a lot of winds. It's like been sustained 20, gusting 30 for the past 2 days, so we just want a good reason to get off the boat. So since today is Sunday, here on the islands, a lot of times either stores are closed on Sundays or they will open up after church. So we got here a little early this morning, so we're just out enjoying a nice stroll around the island.
Getting some steps in after being locked on the boat basically for 2 days.
I know, yeah, it feels nice to be out stretching our legs. But now that we're kind of central on the island right now, the wind has stopped. And it reminds you how hot it is down here. After our walk, we ended up ditching our plans to go to the grocery store and instead went over to the famous Staniel Key Yacht Club to enjoy the air conditioning and some food. While visiting the bar in 1977, Jimmy Buffett made a collect call to Los Angeles, where he learned that his single Margaritaville was 29th on the Billboard charts. The song would go on to reach 8th place and will become Buffett's highest charting solo single.
I heard something hit the water. Boy, you won't jump in at the marina.
Well, after an afternoon at the bar, our dinghy is now high and dry.
Say It's a really good thing we put the anchor out. The anchor kept it from going away.
Once our bellies were full, we stopped back at the boat to get Aspen, and then treated ourselves to a beach day to help keep cool. Come on, Aspen! Let's go! Wondering where Aspen ran off to. Dylan just left on the dinghy to run back to the boat real quick, so of course my company's not good enough for her, so she has to go and try and figure out where he's off to. Is that Dylan? So originally the plan was to go diving. That plan kind of fell through. We were hoping to hit slack tide.
We already missed it.
Yeah. So it's a bit too much current, but what we're up to now isn't too bad of an alternative. We're currently hanging out on the beach and just enjoying the water.
Eating some meat and cheese.
And we got our little beach bum with us too. Sorry, what was that last part?
No, I was staying on the beach all by herself.
That's true. Can't really complain about this right now. It's pretty nice. After an afternoon at the beach, we decided to go and check out Thunderball Grotto. Most people recommend going to the grotto during low tide, since the openings are exposed and you can easily make your way in without having to go underwater. However, we decided to go at high tide with the hopes of avoiding all the crowds of people who visit this popular attraction. Wow. Oh, this is so cool. That's not a bad current though.
Oh, no.
And the best part is we got it all to ourselves. We did later go back at low tide just to see what it was like, and let's just say it was pretty busy. So the other day we went to shore. We planned to go to the grocery store. We ended up ditching that idea because we went and had lunch and the grocery store still wasn't open. So we just decided to go and kind of have a beach day instead, which was really nice. But we're gonna go and try and hit up the grocery store today. We're also gonna get rid of some trash that we have on board. We have another blow that's coming through, so we're gonna stay here for a couple more days. We've really been enjoying the area, so we're not too upset that we're staying here. Our only concern is that we really do need to start pushing to Eleuthera soon. We have a couple of packages that we are donating for a friend. Grocery run was a success, and we even left with some souvenirs. Also made a stop at the liquor store.
Got 2 bottles of rum and a road soda.
Probably one of Dylan's favorite parts about the Bahama.
Basically no laws for open containers.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
After grocery shopping, we decided to try our luck at getting a conch shell. Up until this point, all the conch that we had come across were either juvenile or had already been punched out. There are regulations on catching conch since they are considered to be a threatened species. Lots of people we talked to seem to have different opinions on what was considered to be legal size to catch, but we decided to go with conch that had a decent lip thickness since thinner ones indicate that they're still juvenile and have not yet reproduced. We're back from that little dive excursion that we did, and that was actually our first dive where we found mature conch. So we were able to bring some conch back. I unfortunately am extremely allergic to mollusks, so I can't eat any of it, but Dylan's currently up there prepping some of the conch, so that I think he's gonna make conch fritters or a conch salad. So it's pretty cool. It's always exciting when we're able to live off the land. So even though I won't be getting to enjoy this meal, I'm glad that he finally got to find some conch that was mature enough to harvest, because he's been really looking forward to that.
So I made a little bit of fresh conch salad. Unfortunately, we didn't have all the ingredients to make a true one, but we have a little bit of bell pepper and some onion, lime, and lemon juice. As the saying goes, I think it always tastes better when someone else has to make it. But given my first time, I think it's pretty good. We're going to take our conch shell here, and we are going to cut the tip off, fill in the hole where they bashed out the conch in order to remove it from the shell, fill that with an epoxy, and we'll have our first conch horn here in the Bahamas.
There are many different cultures and religions that have significant meaning behind blowing a conch shell. For many cruisers, blowing the conch at sunset is a tradition that signifies the end of daylight for sailing and the start of nighttime rest. In Hawaiian tradition, it is a common practice to give thanks and say goodbye to the end of the day.
Next we have to, I believe we have to drill out this little centerpiece here, that center spiral. So we ran into the grocery store today and we found some jerk seasoning. So we're grilling up some jerk chicken thighs. Alright, tonight for dinner is the grilled jerk chicken and roasted potatoes with a side of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Do you think you have enough Chick-fil-A sauce there?
No.
No.
There's never enough Chick-fil-A sauce.
And we should mention, we got the jerk chicken at Pink Pearl.
Bought the jar of jerk seasoning.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. I love it. Didn't work.
I mean, it was better.
It's so bad. Sounds like a talking elephant.
Looks like Dylan could use some practice with the conch shell. But that's going to be it for this week's video. If you haven't already and you've been enjoying the videos, consider hitting the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching!